everybody. I am trying out Qwen3.6 35B on the UI to see if it can interact with it and still do everything. Let's see, what do we want to show? Let's see, show HTML editor. Alright, let's see what happens. So far, so good. First one's always the longest. Plus, this is a bigger model than I normally use, and I'm still keeping my context at the 25200. And it's not shutting me out, so it's actually doing something. I just don't know what yet. Nor do I know how long it's going to take on this one. Never actually. So let's see what happens. This should be interesting. I don't know if it's normally slow or what it's like on others. So I'm just going to wait and see. Should have kept it simple. And I did not put in thinking stuff because I don't like the thinking ones. So if this is a thinking model, I may be thinking in the background. I'm not sure yet. I need to add that. I also need to update the interface. I was looking at it earlier, and the latex wasn't working properly either. I also want to update it to use more modern kind of chat bubbles and everything. I was focused on functionality over the look for the first kind of parts. And then after I got this built, I was looking at getting what's it doing? Oh, maybe this is thinking, I don't know. Maybe about it. And can it interact with this system? I guess this is the thinking. I guess that's what those little dots are. Oh my. This is why I don't like thinking models. Wow. That was a lot of thought for not a whole lot of nothing. And then it got an error, so I wonder if it's going to fixate on the error. What did it do wrong on that error? already did it twice. I don't know why they keep trying to do that twice. I haven't figured it out. And I need to resize this so it fits inside of it. I actually have that set for a specific size, and that doesn't work when it's like this. There we go. Well, it works with it somewhat. What did it put in there? Unknown tune. Oh, I put it in the actual optional part, and it didn't need to. And that's fine. It worked. So, huh. Besides for thinking a lot, it's not that bad. This is exactly why I don't like the thinking models. They overcomplicate everything and kind of breaking it down for themselves. Let's see, what's the next tool I want to use? Let's run a file. I need to get my folder up. Where it is. Your C8 drive is actually your home drive for the AI. That whole drive, that folder is its entire kind of system. So whenever you use this, you should treat that folder as disposable. I always keep a backup right next to it, so if the AI ever does anything that messes it up, I can just kind of shift it over and rebuild and it's back to normal. It's not using very many tokens for that. I wonder if it keeps track of the tokens for the thinking. I don't know if I did that or not. Get 2 tool calls, 1 message. I don't got anything in here except my test stuff. It is a lot slower. Man. I think I did a 5-minute video, went through like everything, did 2 tool calls on mine. I didn't realize these got so kind of slow for these. Cause I heard this one was supposed to be kind of fast. Jeez. Maybe I need to go down a step too, so that's one option. But it depends. If it gives good outputs, I guess I shouldn't complain too much. It's just, that's a lot of stuff. And the latency is horrible with this one. I think my latency, it was kind of down to like a couple seconds. This one is insane. I wonder if they have a non-thinking mode one. That would probably be the best one, because this is why I don't like these thinking ones. Something happens in there that just to get a good response. Dun, dun, dun. There you go. No file name provided. What is it looking for? It's wrapping it wrong. I need to figure out what its tool calls are and integrate it. It is doing. It's trying to learn it, but it just keeps repeating the same thing over and over and over and over. Let me teach you and see if you can learn. Here we go. Let's see. Finally. And let's see if you can do it now. Dun, dun, dun. He's back to thinking. Alright, so I'm going to call this one a bust because it takes too long to think unless I can find a non-thinking one. I think that's the instruct models, so I have to look and see if there is one. And then turn thinking off because I can't handle when they do all this. Oh, wait a minute. It didn't think on that one, it just kind of did it. And it got it. Good for you. Now it knows the system, and it knows the proper tool calls. So, that only took 15 minutes. This is too slow. 27,000 tokens, so it's kind of good on the tokens. Even though it makes a lot of errors and just repeats them. This is what I don't understand about an AI. It will keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. And that's what kills me. I don't know why it does that. And I got the first tool call right, so, but that didn't need a parameter, so I guess it just needed that updated. And it's gonna keep going. Now it actually has something to analyze, so this is gonna nothing, and it does work with it. So I just gotta sum this up and make this simpler. But if it's a thinking model, there's nothing I can do about that. It's just gonna do what it's doing. This is all on the backside. I can hear my computer kind of whirring up while it does all this. And see, this is what used to happen on OpenWebUI too, and that's why I kind of moved away from that. But these thinking models are killing me. But it will work with at least. I gotta figure out what the requirements are for this thing, or see if I can speed it up somehow. The only way I can think of doing that is by removing the thinking. Dun, 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 come on. Oh, this is really bad. I am on a store-bought Dell, and that was why I did this, was to make sure that it wasn't you didn't need some big, huge system to run these, but this one is not great with this goal. Installed Python library, use the OS and runtime Linux. Actually, it's one core. I don't know why it always says this, and it shows up like this, but it is actually, I think that's probably my script, and it shouldn't separate it. It's not physical cores. That's 20 logical cores inside the one. It's not right. As you can see, it's going over everything, storage, all of it. I barely used anything. And as you see, it gets direct access to the same things, and it gets the direct responses, so it doesn't need to guess. Like before, here, I'll use my mouse pointer. If over here, you see how it knew it didn't work, so it did it again. Unfortunately, it wasn't trying different things. That's one of the things that kills me with AI, is they actually think they know better. I know they're made to sound confident, but when it comes to actually working on a system where the results are put right back in their face, they know their stuff wasn't right. And that was the difference. As it goes along, it'll get more comfortable because, again, once you point it out, and that's in the sample template I put in here, so you can copy it and show how to do this. All you do is put your file name in here. If there is a parameter and your function is whatever tool it is, if it's a show tool, you don't even need a parameter. But that's how the tool calls are ran. And I got it in the tool function, so any AI should be able to read it, just like this one did, even though sometimes it wasn't. Because if you look right here, it'll tell you what it actually put in there, and it didn't. I don't know if it was. It didn't follow this thing, and it's very simple. Just put the file name inside the parameter, nothing else. And I made this as simple for humans too, so you can instruct an AI yourself. Most of these are so you don't know what's going on in the back. Now this one, it's very straightforward. You know what it's looking for. I did make it adaptable, so if the AI gets it wrong, it'll still launch stuff. But when it comes to file names and that stuff, it wants this, and it's very simple, so it should follow it. And it's giving all my stuff. And how do they optimize for workloads? 20 core CPU. 20 core CPU is correct. That's good. And 31GB RAM provided. Now, when it does these things, it also gets access to the scripts it's running. So like here, I can those are, this is it. You just change the link. Again, I told you all you have to do is drop an HTML in a folder. That folder is where I have all the other tools, and you just put this in front of it, and that's all you need to do is add a tool. Just copy that, copy it over, give it a name, etc., etc. And that's how all these tools work. It's very simple. Tool interface to load these is just a card once you drop it in the file folder. I did integrate that I can just drop in HTML and it auto makes a tool in that folder. That's not released yet. None of these are. The old release was still on the B data build from 2404, and that's when I started looking at the CVEs. I had to make a change because these things were getting out of control. I got full functionality and everything. Got Blender built in, searching built in. I was showing in a video earlier my Docker. I only have a couple of things, and Ollama is separate. I do not have Ollama in a Docker container. You don't need it. Just install it, the UI, like I did on Windows or Linux or Mac, and just port it from there. This UI, all the settings are set up. This is what you get out of the box. You just go to the folder and run the Docker compose, and you go in. I was showing how to download Ollama models earlier, and I said I would test one, which I just did, even though that was kind of brutal, for me at least. I'm not used to that much of a slow time, especially 20 minutes for a few responses and a few tool calls. The thinking is what killed me. I'm glad it got kind of past that real quick. It didn't really need it. And it started working on actually doing this stuff. So I'm glad that happened, but it still took a long time to get there. That latency is insane. And I'm not even at 300,000 tokens, and I was showing mine, and it was just getting faster, not like this. But this did get a little faster, except that latency that it has where it needs to, I don't know what it's doing, processing or whatever. That is just insane. But everything, these are some basic 3JS examples that are built in just so you can kind of, when the AI loads these, he has access to the full files. Let me see. Oh, I guess he doesn't. He still has access to the file system, so he can go through there. Those are in documentation. No, sorry about that. Those are actually in the UI. And this is the folder for the UI. Let me go back up. Documentation is where you're going to put all your stuff. This is where I keep the basic information for the system, so the AI knows. Information for Qtip, Qwen3. Your audio files will go here, your video files will go here, your images files will go there, your knowledge files will go here, your current chats are in here, my scripts for my banking logs and stuff when I run scripts in code server, which I did in the last video to verify it still all worked. Those will be saved here, images, knowledge, memory will be saved here. So all you have to do if you look at kind of load a memory, load some, your, actually I wouldn't even load your knowledge through here. Whenever you dump those texts in one of these folders, it will auto load when you start your UI, so you don't really have to do anything. AI save folder for it. Verify script, there's some sample scripts, the ones I use for like system check and some quantum testing and some educational scripts for people. So used to going and hitting the back button. I may change that. Your security is here, your allow list, your events, and your config. Again, I made all these with security, so everything is good. I'm offline, so it doesn't matter. That's why I'm not getting anything. Something happened earlier, I guess. I missed it. So that's all there. When you go in here to, oh, that was your documents. Your UI settings are here, and this is where you'll find your system prompt and just your regular settings. AI scripts are here for it to have a save folder. It does not need to write out scripts on your for you. All it does is need to save a file and just write it there. Then it can run it, or you can, and if you want to view the actual file, you can go in there and view it. This way, it can run it, edit it, and do everything before it gives it to you. So since it's on the same system you are, you know, well, you and it know that if it doesn't work for it, it's not going to work for you. So it keeps going, and the errors get pushed back to it. So it can keep addressing it. Like here, it just said no file name provided, so it kept doing the same thing over and over, even though that was wrong. And that was because of how it was labeling it. And I will get some messages kind of hard-coded in there so it knows when this happens to push the thing back to it the proper way. Like, did you mean, and then put it in proper. So you don't have to manually write it out. But it is in there for anybody to correct it yourself. Everything still works. I added personal custom things for everybody, like the game. There is an inline documentation viewer, so all your stuff you can do this inside the chat too. Whenever your AI or anything references sources, since I'm offline, all my sources are local. It's all empty right now because I'm doing fresh builds to do demonstrations, but I have like tons of knowledge-based stuff to put in there. Whenever it references something, I have it pull up the document viewer, and I can actually go to it and look at those sources myself. So if it references Qwen3 or Q-tip, I can go to it and I can reference it, and I can actually look at it myself to see, make sure that it's using the correct information and that it's formatting all these things correctly. So it's not about guessing. I also included a script, so you can customize your requirements list, like I showed that I had. That was the last one. I have all these. Oh, I didn't also open that one. I will run it for you real quick myself. And this is what it is included when you kind of do it like this. And this is what it just ran. All these Python libraries are installed. It's pretty much everything. That is the big bulk of everything in my build right now. Now these are fully customizable. Most people will not use most of this stuff. You can cut most of these out. These are just, it's all in your requirements text. Where is the requirements text? Let's see. That's in UI2. And your requirements text is here, where you can edit which Python libraries you want to install. So you can add, take out, put in, whatever. I went through and grabbed all the most common. It's easier to take out stuff you don't use and have never heard of than it is to find stuff that's compatible. So I went through, pretty much got everything that's compatible with 3.14. The only thing that's not currently is this one right here, Qwen Python Q13, and I think it's Transformers. Yeah, Transformers is the other one. Or maybe Tensor. No, I already have TensorFlow out. I think it was TensorFlow. I need to add that back in because TensorFlow does not have a 314 either. This is the Docker file, and it'll build off my base. That's why I'm going to put the base up. Because I was using BData's, but I was using their old one and their new one. I didn't want to bring in third-party stuff because I don't know if it ever goes down or if they ever are messing with it and it's not available. So I moved straight over to this, and that's not in here, but my base is in something else, and I'll actually upload that document too once I get everything uploaded. But this is the full UI, and it just takes off from the from these folders, backends where your two server things is, and this is where everything's set up for you. This is where you can come in and, like I said, everything's readable. This will be one of my longer ones. Most of them are short. All the JS scripts are short. This is the entire UI. And here is the main HTML. This is going to be your biggest one, and that's all of this, and it's designed so you can change its colors. You can kind of go through and do whatever. Here's all the tools. Here's your tool interface, this thing right here. These are your 4 windows from the coding suite, and then this is the GUT, conversion, quantum comms, and the tool is a JS file for the universal coding suite, I think, or the tool interface. This one has all your tools. This is the folder with all those tools. These are all just HTMLs. They'll work online, offline. If you want to use these HTMLs personally outside of this, you need to change the links. Let me find one. All right. So the link right here, I'm using localhost because I have them, all the files on my own system. You want to change these to CDN links. You can Google that and just look for CDN links for 3JS, and you can get it that way. I have it all right here through this folder, so anybody that uses those files, the ones I took almost everything out to cut this down to really nothing. So you're going to have to add your own 3JS folders unless they're already a part of it, which you'll have to look. The GLB file folders, this is the biggest sizes, like 50 gigabytes. These are GLB files for my solar system thing. And all your stuff's in there. Like I said, the AI can look at any of these and it can copy any of this. So my game, where's that? That was up here. This is that simulator game. If you go down and find the GLB wherever it loads, GLB for the city, you can actually just change it out. Same with characters and the rest of it. And kind of play around with it, make games that are using the examples from these others. It uses the sky from one of these, kind of, and that's what I mean. It just kind of, when you start combining everything, it kind of works together. I added kind of all these other little simulators and stuff, and I stuck to empirical as much as I could. So this is stuff people can learn from. There's a card game, there's an audio player, video players, all that stuff. These are all working. I've done examples of that before. There's just kind of stuff I found that I've integrated just to show different ways of doing things. Here is your tools. I was showing that earlier that you can actually, and I've done this in other videos, each tool is divided into its own thing, so you don't need to like update tools. Once it's in there, you can turn them off individually. Like I don't want to delete lines in a file, I can turn that off and it just can't delete lines anymore. If I don't want it to save and run, or if I don't want it to replace something, and these are the things I mean by it's kind of up to you which ones you use, which ones you don't. The show files are just the tools interface, so there's no on or off. It just has access. You can just pop them up for you. And that's for some web searching and the web scraping. So that's all there. Oh, those are in there. There's off to the side. Huh. I didn't realize. Those are a little bit long. I guess they do have them. You just gotta kind of zip them over to get to them. I may have to extend that a little bit then. But as you can see, this model can work on it. It's going to need some refining when you mess with it. I don't use these outside models much, but you can use the base, and that's what I gave it for, is to correct it and get it aligned and kind of see what parts you need to keep, like the tool calls. If they have trouble with them, leave that, but maybe you want to replace everything else. It also has kind of the basic file system on how to search it and where to find it. That's why it's also not having issues with that. Plus, I actually gave it to him. But it can actually search the folders and do all that, which it didn't do, which I'm surprised. And it didn't read it or check to see if it was actually there, it just kind of went and did it. So I can see some errors that it should be doing that it needs correction on, but I don't know how it normally works. Again, so I don't know. I don't have really a baseline. I've never used this one. I've never seen videos of it, so I don't know if this is the normal for it or not. But at least I guess that is its thinking, and then it stops thinking. I don't know if that's a feature too, or what happened, or if it was thinking in the background before. I don't know. I'll have to look at this. I'm about to get thinking installed just to be sure. Anyway, I just wanted to show everybody that this video went way longer than I expected it to. I apologize for that. I just wanted to do a test run on other models to see how they actually worked on this system, but they work fine, sort of. I don't know how it works on other systems. I don't know if this was a bad thing or a good thing, but I know it's not trained on mine at all. That's the only thing I know. But it adapted okay. So I can't really say anything. I'm going to have to look and see if I can get it on thinking, to see if I can speed it up, or if that's just how this one is. I may need to lower the context window a little bit. Maybe that'll help. I don't know. Anyway, I'll keep everybody posted, and then I'm going to start more security to this. Trying to get the ports blocked off, not give it access to ports, and then secure the searching port and the secure comms port from incoming, so people don't gotta worry about that. If there's other ports people want, they can add them themselves. I'll make a block for that so people know where to put that. I've had that many work on this couple few CVEs. I don't know if they're all recent, most of them, so I'm gonna have to look and see if there's even anything out to fix them. That latency on this